know that it's in everything. You're
That's why I
assuming
asked
that
you to explain it to me, and
that's why
I'm using your explanation.
you're thinking that they put a little bit here and a little bit there, and only a few people see it. And if people see the lone gunman, they're going to clue into that the government could be behind these things. Now, the lone gunman,
no, not at all.
is an
not
interesting.
my point.
Okay, but you're thinking that most of the movies out there are not showing this, so how could it possibly have the effect that I think it's having?
I drew that conclusion because you did not present that evidence.
Well, I'm not here to present evidence. I mean, I can't even screen share or anything like that. I could show you predictive programming till the cows come home dealing with 9/11. That I showed a lot of that in the Twitter sort of back and forth.
If you have it,
hoping
just real quick, if you have it, Jeff, you can send it to me and we can put it up for you.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have it ready, but I could dig it up pretty quickly. The thing is,
that's fair.
Let me just try to inform you what I see has happened over the past, well, especially since 9/11. All right, so I see a growing sort of world organization that's taking control of basically the entire world. And that we are all being misled by our media. We are all being deceived over and over again into thinking that these people are enemies or these people are our friends and this and that. And we're constantly distracted and programmed into, just idiocy and worrying about the latest gossip and the latest drama. But in the meantime, the images that they show us constantly over and over again show us that these things are going to happen and that these things are coming over and over again. So what we have with 9/11 is that you build up a narrative for, say, a few decades, say 3 decades, they build up a narrative that there are people in the Middle East that hate America, hate us, Iranians hate us, Syrians hate us, Iraqis hate us, and this is a horrible problem. And they're attacking us and we're not safe. And then you put out these stories and there's bombings and there's derailments and there's all these terror acts that happen over a few decades. You build up a narrative in people's minds that there's a group of people on the other side of the world that hate everything that we are and want to destroy us.
We can flip that script.
So
we can flip that script though, man. Because there are 10 times as many movies about government conspiracies trying to control the world as there are about 9/11 related terror concepts. You could,
really?
I could legitimately make the argument that you were predictively programmed. There were 89 movies.
Just a few of them? Can you tell me just a few of them?
All the President's Men, Future World, Illustrious Corpses, Logan's Run, Marathon Man.
Slow down, and say them. Don't speed them out. Let me hear them so I can.
All of the President's Men, which is about two young reporters uncovering the Watergate scandal.
All of the President's Men. All right.
Future World. Which is about a reporter uncovering a conspiracy to replace the world leaders with androids. Illustrious Corpses.
Wow. That's from the 1970s, is it not?
Sure, which is from the same time span as some of the movies you picked out that were on your poster. I used your time frame that was on your poster.
I see what you're doing. All the President's Men is a wonderful piece of fiction. And what is that all about? It's all about a manufactured sort of conspiracy that they created.
All right, Wag the Dog, The Dark City,
there's another
Enemy of the State, Mercury Rising, The Negotiator, Snake Eyes. I can go on for quite a while listing examples of movies that have programmed you to believe in government conspiracies. How haven't you seen it, man? How haven't you seen it?
Okay, how about this? I'm not
proves that you have to believe in conspiracy theories because that's what they want you to believe.
All right, let's let him respond. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, okay.
How do you answer that?
First of all, mind control is a terrible sickness, and I really encourage everyone out there listening to break that mind control. Because if you're watching what they want you to watch, if you're playing what they want you to play, and you're eating what they want you to eat, and you're getting all, excited about the things they want you to get excited, you're getting all riled up by the left, right, and you're picking sides, and you're picking colors, then they have you exactly where they want you. Their world is mind control. Their movies are mind control. Their television is mind control. You're in their world. They're controlling you. Go ahead.
He asked you a very specific question though, and I would like to hear an answer to it. If you're using movies as a means of saying that we were programmed, he listed off several movies as well that in the reverse could be said about people who are believe in conspiracies. So how do you answer that? Why is one okay as a piece of evidence, but the other is not?
All right, very interesting. First and foremost, he's naming off a bunch of movies. Most of them I've never even heard of, and the ones that I have heard of are pretty hilarious, like All the President's Men and Future World. Those were two that I picked out that I was like, oh yeah, I know those two. Yes, it's a good point, and if you wanted to take a sort of critical approach to predictive programming, and you could say, well, hey, look, they're showing you that the governments are full of corruption. But what governments are full of corruption? This is the whole thing that you're totally not getting. You're not understanding.
All of them. The Manchurian candidate takes it all the way up to the New World Order, man.
Yeah, let me finish. Let him finish, and then we'll let you respond.
You're under the illusion that United States government acts alone, that there's nothing else that's coordinating it. You're under the illusion that the other national governments around the world are not conspiring with each other, are not controlled by a shadow government. This is the whole thing. So when movies can come out and they can say, look, the governments are corrupt. Look, the CIA is corrupt. Look, this is corrupt. And you think, well, they're showing that our governments are corrupt. Of course our governments are corrupt. Everybody knows that. You'd have to be a complete retard not to realize how corrupt governments are. That's not the point. They don't want you to look higher. They want you to stay in their left-right paradigm. They want you to stay Democrat, Republican. They want you to follow the white rabbit or, follow the other bullshit on the left side sort of thing. They want you to stay in their world. And this is what you're not understanding. So you're saying, well, there's all these movies that give examples of corruption in the government. Yeah, corruption in the government, I mean, it's like snow in Canada in the wintertime. I mean, it's everywhere. Of course, there's corruption in the government. Everybody knows this. But that's not examples because they're not showing, these movies aren't showing that there actually is a shadow government that is controlling our governments. And this is what, that's funny. That's funny.
Yes, it is, because
it's funny. Really.
Just to clarify, I just want to make sure we're all... You're okay. You're okay. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. And maybe this will be a direction, a name that you can go in from here. But just because I'm curious, what's the why would they telegraph these in movies? What would be the point of letting you know that there's a shadow government?
Well, there's several reasons. One is because they feel that there's nothing that can stop them. And they always use numbers and symbols and occultic sort of, symbols with everything that they do. So and another way too is a way of alleviating themselves of any guilt. They show you over and over again what they're doing to you so that they can say, well, we showed it to you. It's like Black Mirror. There it is. We're showing you what we're doing to you, where we're taking you, what we're doing. And Black Mirror is a great example because you had the episode with the driverless pizza truck, and then the very next day that episode airs, Pizza Hut announces that they're going to have driverless pizza trucks, and everybody just says, "Oh, I just saw that on Black Mirror. Isn't that something?" Well, that's what they're doing to us. They're showing us what they're going to do to us because what's that?
I think that's one of the best shows on.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it's showing you a lot of what's already happening right at this moment. Okay. And so we are already fallen far down. So, they believe that there's nothing that's going to stop them. They've been planning this for even hundreds of years now. So it's nothing, like, they believe fully that they will achieve this. So they, in some ways it's about just breaking us down. I mean, what they're doing to us essentially as human beings, what's happening to us is we're being dumbed down, massively. YouTube is a perfect, amazing example of that. Just look at what's trending, look at your popular music, look at the types of games that people are playing, look at the suspended adolescence, look at the obesity, look at all the foods that people are eating. People are being, they're being just beaten down, and they're being traumatized by their media over and over again, and they're being made powerless.
Okay, let's hold right there. What I want to do, and I know with a subject like this, it can be easy to get off on several different rabbit holes, but I want to steer this back to where the subject at hand, which is 9/11 and the evidence that it was perpetrated by anyone other than the people, the terrorists who were on that plane. So, a name. Do you want to kind of take us off into like, I don't know how you want to approach from here, like the engineering aspects of it. The wherever you.
Well, he doesn't.
You had some. Go ahead.
He doesn't really disagree necessarily, although it sounded like he thought maybe it wasn't a plane that hit the Pentagon. But for the most part, it doesn't sound like Jeff disagrees with the notion that the plane struck the World Trade Center 1, World Trade Center 2, and the resulting calamity was a consequence of those plane crashes, with the heat of the fires causing basically a increased flexibility and a loss of strength in the steel beams that ultimately led to a collapse of the towers.
Okay.
So it doesn't really seem like there's too much to argue there.
Yeah,
Do you think that the towers came down from the planes hitting, and not like some people say, which it was that they detonated bombs to bring it down in a controlled fashion?
Yeah, I think it is controlled for sure, 100%. But I don't really know.
There's our point of contention then.
Yeah. See, to me, the other element is more interesting. Like the whole discussion that was happening on Twitter. 9/11 is just one thing. It's a big one, but it's just one of many of their
but it hinges on a unproductive theory of social programming that doesn't actually fit with the data. No, you can laugh.
Your entertainment is 100% mind control. Bullshit. It is mind control. No, you are under mind control. You don't understand it because
either demonstrate a working theory of psychology or fucking stop. You don't get to pull this shit where you run off and go, you're under mind control. It's mind control. Actually explain the psychological mechanisms at work that explain why it works when 8 fucking movies can be presented that predict 9/11 through this programming, whereas 89 can be presented for government fucking conspiracies. And 4, I might include international conspiracies, meaning your New World Order gets caught up in the bunch. And as for fucking calling me out for movies you had never heard of, your picture shows The Squeeze, a 1980s era movie that had less than 580,000 viewers in the theaters. And you want to complain about how many people have seen a given movie.
That's not my picture. I don't know what the
picture that you posted in the in our Twitter discussion.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure which one. I probably posted a lot of them. I just think that it's much harder for people to accept the like people are programmed into accepting the paradigm that they create for you. And they want you to stay in that world. It's like an aquarium. They don't want you to leave the box. They want you to stay in there. So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, guess what? You're in a box. That's not a pleasant thing for people to deal with. So people react with anger.
And that completely dodges the question of how you think this actually works in a way that could actually be studied or explained in any form of a psychological setting or analysis. That is, any way that could be tested, demonstrated to be probably true or falsified, anything that we can actually use to demonstrate you're doing anything other than pulling shit out of your ass. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to hear how you account for the fact that social learning theory says you're full of
it. Oh my God. Where's your social learning theory from? Which academic institution?
Okay, so now so now that we're going down that rabbit hole, can you provide evidence that the entirety of peer-reviewed journals and basically knowledge and learning for the past few centuries is so thoroughly under the control of a conspiracy that nobody has ever been able to pull a SoCal-style debunk where they demonstrate that, hey, as long as you toe this narrow line, you get published, but the minute you wander out of it, you get squashed. So where's your proof that there's a conspiracy of academics?
It's in
across the
academia.
entirety of the field of psychology.
It's well known in academia, and I know this pretty well. It's well known that